This week, a hotel that's gone to the dogs.
It's just so manky.
I've just got to consider how much I will lose doing it your way. And I know you're going to come back at me.
You're not going to lose anything.
You got worms. It does mean you've got to do something rather urgently.
It's going to be difficult for me to keep my cool because she really doesn't know what she's talking about.
Oh, God.
This is Sparkle's Children's Hotel in Blackpool. It has 8 themed suites, including a Barbie room, a Narnia suite, a 101 Dalmatians room, and a breakfast room based on the lost city of Atlantis.
In one sense, yes, I've made the doll's house. It's all prepared, it's ready. Beds are warm and comfortable and it's lovely ambience. And now I need the dolls to play with.
Owned by Sue Ryan, aka Mrs. Sparkle, the hotel is virtually empty and running out of money fast.
So it's kind of this year or never. So if I can't make a profit this year, then I'd better throw in the towel.
An ex-teacher, Sue spotted what she thought was a gap in the market. So 7 years ago, she moved to Blackpool and opened a hotel specifically catering for children.
What I'm interested in is creating the most child-friendly hotel in the UK.
Since then, she claims to have spent over £1 million transforming a run-down terraced house near the pleasure beach. She's even designed and decorated all the themed rooms herself. But despite her labours, guests are thin on the ground and Sparkle's future's in jeopardy. It's half-term and most of Blackpool's 1,800 hotels and guest houses are heaving, but Sparkle's is empty. In desperation, Sue has called on Ruth Watson, an award-winning hotelier renowned for turning around struggling businesses.
Scary stuff. This is more like a crash than a hotel. I like the gate.
Hello, come in, Mrs. Watson. Come in, how do you do?
Hi, hello.
Ruth will stay in the Narnia suite based on the children's classic The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. To give her a flavour of the Sparkle's experience, Sue's gone ahead to prepare a surprise, just as she would for any children staying.
I'm scared. Is this the mystery? There's nobody here. What the hell's going on here? If I was a child, I'd be panicking at this stage. Oh my God, what is going on?
Ruth, are you there? Grab a fur coat, because it's freezing in here. This is Narnia. And there's the White Witch. Did you hear her laugh?
I did hear her laugh. I'm scared. Yes, this is...
Oh, it's warm in here. I'll take my coat off. I'll leave you to settle in now.
Okay,
if there's anything you need, ring the cowbell in the... It's a sort of cowbell. It's in the hall. It's in the hallway.
Okay.
And Mrs. Sparkle will come running.
Okay. Thank you very
Ruth.
much. Thank you. Thanks.
Sparkle's rooms are advertised at £225 to £400 a night, way above the Blackpool average of just £20. The Narnia suite is priced at £295.
I mean, in one sense, it is amazing. And I can see that a lot of people would really like it. It's a nice big room, but it is just so over the top. And like I said to her, how many people want this level of kind of craziness around them?
It's going to be a challenge. She's come from a completely different background. She's come from Mars, so to speak, no, hang on, no. I'm on Mars and she's come from Earth. So this is her first look at Planet Sparkles.
To get an idea of where the hotel's going wrong, Ruth sets off on a tour of the rooms.
I don't know what to say. You can't walk across the floor for stuffed black and white Dalmatian puppies. They're everywhere. And this cupboard covered with stickers that are unsticking, papers peeling, everything. It's just so manky. It hasn't got any pizzazz about it. It's just full of... It's like some kind of horrible children's jumble sale. Vile.
Next up is the lost city of Atlantis dining room, decorated with an aquatic theme.
What the fuck is this? This is like being at the bottom of an aquarium. I think Sue thinks this is fun and classy and stylish and different, and I just think it's horrible.
It's time to tackle Sue about the chaotic decor.
How prepared are you to subdue some of the theming?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
Right.
Not even to remove a heart-shaped cushion.
But your occupancy rates are incredibly low. I don't want to, fall out with you about this, but if the purpose of me coming in is to say, look, I think we could expand your marketplace by doing some things a little differently and giving, broadening the focus.
Yeah. I think that taking away the theme would be to the detriment of the hotel, because people would come and they'd say, oh, I expected more than this.
Yeah.
Ruth still needs to sample a night at Sparkles before she comes to any conclusions. She retires to the Narnia suite.
Everything about this place is to do with this fantasy world and forgetting that actually in real life people want to be able to undress properly, hang their clothes up properly, put their suitcases away, have a bedside light that works, a shower, just everything basic stuff. And I think Sue's kind of just missing the point about what having a guest house and a hotel's all about.
But will Ruth be able to persuade Sue to swap her toys and dolls for real guests? It's day 2 of Ruth's visit to Sparkles Children's Hotel in Blackpool. She stayed in the £295 a night Narnia suite, one of the hotel's best.
Well, that was a real curate's egg of a night. The biggest problem I have now is finding somewhere to dry my hair, because the only plug and mirror that have any connection with each other, the mirror's on the floor, so I'm going to be sitting on the floor too. It's the basics. It's fine having your themes and having all this play acting stuff, but at the end of the day, Mrs. Sparkles is meant to be a hotel keeper, and I'd like to see the basics done properly first.
It's time for Ruth to sample a Sparkles breakfast.
Good morning.
Oh, hiya.
How are you, Ruth?
I'm all right.
Did you sleep all right?
Yes, more or less.
Okay.
Yes,
Ready for some breakfast?
Yes, thank you
please
very
come
much.
in.
Yeah.
This is the lost city of Atlantis. God. Oh dear, did you get hit by a fish?
Attacked by a fish for breakfast.
Go on, you help yourself.
No, it's not.
Serves her right. Look where she's going.
Everything. Where are adults in this? Come on. There's children here, sure, but they come with adults and parents, and I'm not that tall.
A standard breakfast is included in the room rate, but Sue charges up to £10 a head extra for certain dishes, such as cold meats and hard-boiled egg.
And this is a piece of pre-sliced ham from the supermarket. Salad is completely spurious. It's just one of those, okay, let's pretend we're posh. It's nonsense.
Have you had enough?
Yes, I have. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm not a huge breakfast
No,
eater. I
that's
have to be
fine.
absolutely honest.
Never mind.
With no guests in 2 months, Ruth needs to know how the business is staying afloat.
I'm a huge believer in knowing how the financial things are going, because I think even when it's scary, it's less scary knowing where you stand.
Oh, I know,
and where
I
you
agree.
do.
That's why I like to do it.
You feel you do know where you stand
Oh,
on
I
a
do.
month-to-month basis?
Yes, I do know where I'm standing.
Would you say at the moment you are losing money?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, I'm losing money
Yeah.
at the moment because there's nobody in, January,
And have you
February.
got a
Yeah.
kind of crisis point where you think if this goes on for X months or year, then I can't carry on?
Yeah, but I know that we're coming up to Easter, which
Yeah.
is a good time,
Yeah.
and hopefully with the 2 weeks there,
Yeah.
then it might be peanuts to you, but I could bring in sort of £8,000
Sure.
during that thing, so that's a good bulk.
Yeah. So is it kind of chin above water, just-ish, would we say?
Yeah, but I guess I'm not the sort of person who panics.
No, okay.
You know, I mean, there is no
But Ruth
point
is
in
not
panicking.
convinced by Sue's optimism.
I think she's got some major financial problems here, and I think unless we can get these rooms filled as quickly as possible, she might be saying goodbye to Mrs. Sparkles.
It's time to present Sue with a plan of action to turn Sparkles around.
One thing that has been very, very much on my mind is I've been here 24 hours or more and I haven't heard the phone ring. The problem with all of this is that I don't know any 3-year-olds who get on the web, look at the site, pick up the phone and say, Mrs. Sparkles, please can I book a room with you? No. They come with parents and guardians and adults and carers or wherever they are, right? And those people are grown up.
Yeah.
And I think we really have to do something positively about embracing the idea of adult culture as well as children. What I would like to do is to strip out, not all, but some of the sort of dollies and the dressing up things and the freebies and the things, what have you.
Yeah.
Some of the really kind of what I regard as kind of over-the-top stuff, which if you weren't into play acting, you'd kind of think is a bit odd.
Okay.
As an upside to that, what that will then do, because one of the things that I don't think you've noticed is missing, is some of the fundamentals like bedside tables, surfaces that people can put makeup bags and things down on, places they can put suitcases, places to hang their clothes.
Yeah.
In my room, I had to, first of all, I tried the dressing up rail for the children to hang makeup. It didn't work, too small, too thingy.
Right.
Then I had to move fur coats off the entrance through.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm having to fight my way through this to actually do some normal, basic adult things.
Second in line is the standard of the decor.
Now, when it comes to the quality of what you're doing, again, I think there's a problem here. I think some of the stuff, and I'm going to be really brutally honest, I think some of it's very scruffy.
Okay.
And again, I would like to ditch and or renovate or remove or replace some of the stuff which I think just looks a bit too jumble shoppish.
Yeah. Can you give me an example? Do you mean the soft toys?
Some of the soft toys, some of the things. I mean, well, let's talk about the White Witch.
Yes. A mannequin.
She's horrible.
Well, she's not always there. I do remove her if people ask. One of the things I say is, do you think your child will be frightened of the White Witch? And if they say, yeah, take her out.
She's horrible.
Yeah,
I think what you've got to remember, and this is a refrain which is coming through everywhere I'm going, is at the end of the day, this is a business. You're asking people to give you money for it.
Yes.
That means that they are entitled to think about how they're spending the money, whether it's value, whether they can get something better somewhere else.
Yes.
Finally, Ruth wants Sue to address her astronomic room rates.
Let's remodel the rates to reflect what Blackpool offers, what you offer, what you could get if you went to Disney World or Disneyland or any of the theme parks, Alton Towers or whatever, and put it back into some kind of kilter so that you're actually not repelling people where they will get on the phone and ask what's involved.
Yeah, okay. Right, so a lot of things to do there.
Indeed. Well, that went so swimmingly. I'm in a state of shock. I thought Sue was going to be really difficult with some of my suggestions, particularly cleaning up the bedrooms, making them more adult-friendly, more inclusive, and it's absolutely extraordinary. So I don't quite know what happened overnight, but she's obviously taken some happy pills. But as far as I'm concerned, this is great news. I mean, maybe we can do something with Sparkles now.
But Sue is already having second thoughts.
We won't be lowering prices, and Ruth is wrong to say, I've got to get my prices down.
Not a promising start, but at least she's beginning to declutter. To make the rooms more suitable for adults, Ruth has suggested the toys and childish paraphernalia be moved to the kids' rooms.
If she says that these sorts of things have got to go, what's in here's got to go, then I'm just left with an ordinary hotel. So, what is the point? So I think there is a certain point where, it's going to be difficult for me to keep my cool, because she really doesn't know what she's talking about. This is a children's hotel, and that's what I advertise it as. I think the parents' rooms really have been decluttered. That one has, and it's looking very different, i.e. the Cupid's gone from the bed. So if she wants me to remove all of this, the reindeers and Aslan and so on, then I will say no, because that's what people come for. This is a themed hotel, and each room has a theme, and if the rooms haven't got accessories to theme that room, it's not a themed hotel. And then I'll start getting the complaints. The coats are staying. You enter Narnia through a wardrobe with coats smelling of mothballs, and those do, and they will stay.
Next up, the 101 Dalmatian suite that's supposed to be for adults.
I'm taking some of the puppies out, which Cruella is known for sort of wanting to collect to make a fur coat. So it's almost like I'm taking the storyline away. So I think it's a bit stupid, really. Not a happy bunny. This was one of my works of art, and I think taking the puppies away and stuff is ridiculous. Oh! That was a bit of fun, really. They're escaping. Panic.
But the one room she refuses to declutter is the Barbie suite.
If Ruth asks me to declutter the Barbie room, I will say, well, suggest a new theme, Ruth, because you can't have a Barbie room without pink and Barbies. Oh, Mrs. Sparkle, it's Ruth!
Ruth is back to check up on Sue's progress.
Hello, Ruth. I thought I'd surprise you.
So, I see we're still living in a fantasy world. Have you been getting on with the rooms?
Well, you'll have to see. I mean, I've tried my best.
Yes?
Yes, so it's been decluttered.
Your best is going to be good enough for
Well,
me.
let's go and have a look.
First stop, Narnia.
OK, Sue, what have you got lined up for me?
Well, we've decluttered.
You have. You have decluttered. This is a lot better. I still hate this rail because it's ugly. Very pleased not to see strange animals. This is definitely a lot better. Definitely a lot better. I think you've made good progress here. Now, the ghastly Ice Queen Wicked Witch of the White Horror story has gone.
She went with a cackle this morning.
Did.
She did.
I'm very, very pleased to see it. Ghastly. And this is new, isn't it?
Well, these are the costumes that you suggested were making a mess in there. So I thought we won't get rid of, all of them because we want the children to enjoy the dressing up experience.
Right.
So we've just selected 7 or 8 costumes and put them there.
Yeah.
And then I'll change them round depending on the age of the children rather than having more in.
It's fine. I think that makes sense because this is the children's area. I haven't got any problem with that at all. Had a major problem with it in the adult section.
But it's a different story in the Barbie room. The dolls have multiplied since Ruth's last visit, and the scary mannequin is still in situ.
I don't believe you. You've got another one of these fucking monstrous mannequins. Who is this woman from hell? Or from...
That's Barbie! No, she's just a bit of fun. Most people smile. If they don't like her, I'll take her out. We have had 1 or 2 guests who are frightened of her, so we would remove her.
I think this is one of the biggest problems I have is your line between things being fun and actually being utterly spooky. This is spooky. This woman is evil. Now, come on, Sue. You've got to shape up. You're going to have to shape up.
Well, this is one of the rooms, Ruth, I didn't think you would need to touch. I thought this was OK. It's called the Barbie room. It's garish. It's Blackpool. To me, it's fun. I thought this was OK. I thought this was sacrosanct.
It's not OK.
OK. All right.
It's
so
not okay because I want you to have customers, right? Look, the whole problem is this fantasy world, Sue. You have got to separate the fantasy part from the business part so that you make some money because otherwise your fantasy is going to be down the bloody plug hole in about 3 weeks. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's just let the adult person have their bit as well.
There's one part of Sue's empire she hasn't seen yet.
Please mind your head.
The basement ball pool and playroom.
Well, the children don't have to come down here.
I know.
They're here to watch. They always pop in and see their child having a really good time.
It just looks so seedy. I don't want to be rude
no,
or
it's
upsetting,
okay.
but it's kind of like this rather grim room.
Right.
I think we need to do something with this.
Are you saying take this away?
I'm not saying get rid of it at all,
No, right.
but I am saying please let's
we
get
can do
rid of the
something.
dead bodies behind the wall kind of feeling.
There's another room next door.
So this is quite a good large space, but it's being used as a storeroom at the moment.
It's reassuringly not sinister, though.
Unless you look at the hands on the door.
I mean, it's a clutter, but then what would I expect at...
Yeah, we've got to have somewhere to be a bit cluttery.
This is a good space, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can go on down here.
Yeah.
It needs, obviously, big redecoration things going
Yeah.
on. But it seems to me that that's got to be a plus.
Yeah.
Having this amount of
Oh, yes.
area for
the kids
kids to
club.
play
Yeah,
in. It's got to be good.
Ruth has advised Sue her prices are putting people off, but so far she's failed to lower them. So she's invited Sue and her daughter Victoria, a partner in Sparkles, to Blackpool's Imperial Hotel. The hotel is Sue's competition, but even the VIP suite is cheaper than a stay at Sparkles. Home to the Labour Party conference, the Imperial is a world away from Sparkles. But will Sue be able to see it?
Prices are vital in the war about getting customers in.
Yeah.
Every single hotelier in the land will tell you that people are so price conscious, value for money is the whole thing.
Yeah.
And what this website does and these prices do is not allow any dialogue to take place because they're so scary on first examination.
Right. I would say that the people who don't actually look down where it says price tariff, please look below for special offers, I would say they are only interested in a good hotel which is reasonable in price. Therefore, I haven't wasted my time in attracting them to the sort of things that I do.
So this is garbage.
Well,
this is garbage.
I
no,
don't
come
think
on,
it
look,
is.
you've
Sue's
just said
advertised
that
prices may be up to £400 a night, but she offers some customers a cheaper rate when they phone up.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're in a business environment. This is not some kind of game about who I want, who I don't want, whether I'm going to allow them in, how far I'm going to let them come before I tell them what the real thing is. This is kind of real life.
You say that the prices are scary. Okay, initially they are scary, but we offer so much more than just a hotel and a place to stay.
How many? 1,500 hotels and guest houses in Blackpool. How many people... Come on, just think about it. You're flicking through the sites. You're flicking through. You see £200 for people. Blah, far too much, out of my price range. You're on to the next one. You don't bother to stop and phone you up and say, look, this seems a lot, but what are you offering?
People can't be bothered to look past just the price. I don't want them, frankly, because they're just money. They're just in their head money. And I'm not going to be doing it for £20 a head.
I don't want you to do it for £20
Right,
a
okay.
head because actually Narnia, for example, I think should be £50 a head, perhaps, in high season, what have you, because it's a good room. But I think we just need to have a headline rate that people can't immediately say, oh, but the Imperial charges a lot less.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I can see myself losing money over the 10% who come on a one-night stay and will pay that price.
With the Easter holidays fast approaching, Ruth's issued Sue with a challenge. Blackpool's hosting a children's dance festival during the break, a great opportunity to sell out the whole hotel. If she can't, it could mean the end of Sparkles. But will she lower her prices in time? Sue Ryan owns Sparkles Children's Hotel in Blackpool. The hotel has 8 themed suites based on popular children's characters, but they remain empty. Sue's hardly got any guests, and she's running out of money fast.
It's kind of this year or never. So if I can't make a profit this year, then I'd better throw in the towel.
She's called on distinguished hotelier Ruth Watson to help bring in the guests and get her house in order. Ruth has identified that many of Sue's rooms are filled with childish clutter.
You can't walk across the floor for stuffed black and white Dalmatian puppies. It's just so manky. Vile.
That the quality of her decoration leaves something to be desired.
What the fuck is this?
And most importantly, that her sky-high prices are putting people off.
They're just in their head money, and I'm not going to be doing it for £20 a head.
Ruth challenged Sue to fill all 8 suites of Sparkles Hotel in time for Blackpool's Easter Dance Festival. It's one of the busiest weeks in the calendar, and if Sue fails to pull in the punters now, it could mean the end for Sparkles. But first, Ruth has instructed Sue to spruce up her rooms. The Barbie suite, ball pool room and playroom are in desperate need of a radical makeover. The first task is to throw out all the rubbish that's accumulated in the basement.
The idea really now is just to get all the loose floaters.
But Sue is more interested in playing than working.
No! It's silly, I've had enough!
Also on the list, getting rid of the tatty toys from the adult bedrooms. But Sue is still finding it hard to embrace the drastic decluttering.
And there's my beautiful Scandinavian reindeer, which I paid £30 for. Perfectly good waste paper bin. Well, it was good, it's cracked now. Oh, fan heater I bought a little while ago.
With the crucial Easter holidays and dance festival just weeks away, Sue has failed to lower her advertised prices as Ruth instructed. Instead, she's leaving Blackpool to drum up custom further afield. She hopes that Sparkles will appeal to theatrical kids, so she's heading out to dance schools in the region that are due to take part in the upcoming festival.
So if we can convert some of these local people who might be coming to the dance festival to stay overnight and sample Sparkles, then obviously they might become a regular customer later on.
Children, can you just sit down for a second? Mrs. Sparkle from Blackpool is here just to have a little word with you all.
You'd see all the wonderful things at Sparkles Hotel, and you'd also get to see the dance championships and be driven sort of like a real, posh girl down in a limo to see that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bill. Bye-bye now. One of the things that I said to the children was that it's a very kind of sparkly place, and if they're all into dance and theatre, then that's going to appeal to them.
Yet again, Sue is spending time winning over kids instead of their parents, the ones who actually book the rooms and pay the bills. Back at the hotel, it's all change.
But I think looking at this, it's like made it twice as big. I can't believe it.
But Victoria doesn't share her mother's enthusiasm.
There's lots of loud colours and stuff everywhere, and it's almost like assaulting your head with things to look at. She should have been locked up, shouldn't she? Oh, you should have been put in care.
I know nothing.
And that's my mother.
But there's a surprise in store in the old ball pool room.
Did you find any dead bodies?
No, not quite. We did find some creepy crawlies, though.
You will do. You probably would. What sort of creepy crawlies?
Do you want to see one?
Yeah.
Right. There you go. You got worms crawling through it, which isn't good.
No, it's not. What kind of worm is it? An earthworm?
Yeah, I guess
my
I'm not being a
goodness.
worm specialist at all.
No.
But
Ooh.
I'm guessing that's just
Yeah.
a wormy worm.
I've never smelt damp down here.
It does mean you've got to do something
Right.
rather urgently.
Right.
Yeah.
Getting rid of a lot of the stuff was kind of a big shock at first when Ruth said that's what she wants me to do. But at the end of the day, I think everything's going to be improved. I want to see the finished result, the end result, before I completely pass judgment. But I think I am more convinced that Ruth was on the right lines than perhaps I was first.
Ruth is due to return soon, but with the dance festival less than a week away, the hotel is almost empty. So Sue hits the streets to persuade people already staying in Blackpool to try out her hotel.
Hello, can I give you some promotional literature? There's a few postcards to send back home. It's a children's theme hotel, more like acting and dressing up.
Oh,
Dancing.
yes, my daughter
Does she? Oh, we do 3 hours of children's activities a day, which is sort of pantomime time and fun in the ball pool. It's not one of these great big hotels where different creche leader every day. It's just Mrs. Sparkle. So we've got rooms like the room in Castle Room. We've got the Narnia room, Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe. Yeah, with this leaflet, get an extra 10% discount. Can I give you one of these? We've got a children's theme hotel. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Come on, tackle me. Sorry, love. Are you into Barbies? Well, we've just had a beautiful new makeover on a Barbie room, so you have to look on the website to see it. Thank you very much.
An afternoon of leafleting has generated some interest, but no firm bookings.
Got one family in for 7 days, another family in for 2, and just trying very hard to get it full up. That's all you can do. Just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it.
But is it a case of too little, too late? Easter week has finally arrived and Ruth is on her way back to Sparkles Hotel, where Sue has still failed to lower her prices.
I'm going to go and find out now whether she's done anything with the rooms, whether they're decluttered, whether an adult would want to be in them, whether that terrible basement's been sorted out, and most importantly, I can see the vacancy signs up during a school holiday week. Now, she should be packed out, but I suspect her pricing structure is still putting people off. Time to go and find out what Mrs. Sparkles has been up to. Hey there, Sue.
Oh,
hiya.
Ruth, hello, how are you? Nice to see you.
And you too. I could hear customers.
We've got now 4 or 5 families in between now and Sunday,
Yes.
so that's not too bad.
Yeah, so you're quite pleased with
Yes.
the level of business, yeah?
Yes.
It's Sue's best occupancy this year, but Sparkles is still half empty.
Okay. Yes. And what about refurbishments? How are we getting on with the decluttering?
Well, I have, yes. It was painful at first, but when we show you around, I think you'll be quite happy.
Yeah.
And I did ask all my guests over Easter, how did you find the rooms?
Yes.
And they all said yes. They liked the idea of having a parent's room, and even though some of the children bring the toys in,
Yeah.
and having it for the parents.
Try stopping them.
No, so all in all,
So
it's
a little
actually
bit
jolly.
of progress.
Yes, and they've only just finished the Barbie room, and I have been itching to see it.
You haven't seen it
no,
yet?
I haven't seen it.
Well, I haven't seen it yet, so we can see it.
Because we'd like to go and see that first.
The old Barbie suite was Sue's pride and joy, a showcase for her 98 Barbie dolls and 16 Kens. On Ruth's orders, the dolls have hit the skip to make way for a more sophisticated take on the Barbie theme. With the decorators working up to the last minute, even Sue hasn't seen the finished results.
Ooh, ah! Oh my God, wonderful. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at the designer paper. Oh, look at this. Oh, gorgeous. Oh, look at this one.
I think you're pleased
look
with
over
it.
here. Yeah, I love it, Ruth. Because I haven't done all these. This is just the finishing touches. Aren't they lovely?
Don't you think the miracle is, look, it's achieved what you wanted. It's still the Barbie room.
Yes.
It's full of little Barbies. But it's tasteful, Sue,
yes.
and an adult wouldn't want to throw up being in here.
No, it's lovely.
And just this fresh white painted wood furniture. The pink says Barbie, Barbie, Barbie. This is a classy bit of old wallpaper up here. You've got, look at the day bed. I mean, that's absolutely fabulous.
It is.
This is what I've been trying to say all along.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Is, you know, I'm not asking you to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No.
I've never said to you, don't theme it, don't have anything, but keep it in some kind of proportion.
Yes.
And also that thing of the difference between klutz and clutter and slightly manky, sort of fusty, you know, Barbie dolls with matted hair.
Yes.
And, you know, beautiful, fresh pink
it's
and
actually
white.
Barbie upmarket.
Yes, it is upmarket Barbie.
And it's not just the bedrooms that have had a revamp. The basement used to be full of old junk, but it's been transformed into a clean, fresh playroom.
Now, this is a hugely,
Isn't it huge?
hugely different room, isn't it?
Lovely, and isn't it big? I couldn't believe it when it's just opened up the space.
What I really like is it's colourful, it's bright, and it's, you know, really child-friendly, but it hasn't got loads of cluttery stuff over it. It hasn't got dangly bits. It hasn't got dusty, fusty bits that I think are harbouring wildlife and what have you, and I think it's great.
Next door, the dank ball pool, full of old mattresses and peeling paintwork, has had a dramatic facelift.
So, come and have a look and tell me what you think. I'm delighted by it. Clean and fresh and colourful, and actually quite safe now. A lot safer, I think.
You know, the biggest compliment I can pay this is it looks normal. It doesn't look terrifyingly freaky. It doesn't look like it's harbouring some horrible secret anymore. It looks like a normal, jolly kind of room. Okay, there's a few little bits and pieces. I'd still like to see the back of the concrete in bits and pieces, but 99% of it just looks normal.
Yes. Good.
And in my head, when I'm talking to you about your hotel, normality is good.
Okay.
But what do the guests think of her new look rooms?
I'd recommend this room to any adult couples coming down. Even if they haven't got children, it's still a nice room to stay in. And I mean, we're in this room and it's nice.
if you're going to be paying the amount of cash that Sue will charge, you want to know you're going to get value for money.
Me personally, I think it's the price that's keeping people away. They don't realise how the hotel is, how it's decorated, what the food's like and things like that. And I definitely think it's the price.
So even Sue's regular guests can see her rates are putting people off. It's time for Ruth to have serious words.
And I am concerned on the website that your prices still look really high, and I thought you were going to lower them.
I was concerned because it was Easter coming up, which is a peak time. So I didn't want to play around with lowering the prices at a peak time, so I thought I would lose money.
Right.
And I couldn't lose money this time of the year. This is our first big...
Okay.
At the moment, Sue charges per room, but Ruth wants her to charge per person. Per room, the cost is up to £400, but per person, it's £45, a far less frightening figure for potential customers.
I don't know whether I'm not making myself clear or whether you're not understanding, but I just want to absolutely clarify what I'm saying to you. All I see is that price of £400 plus, and I'm thinking, bloody hell, I'm not going to go and stay in a guest house in Blackpool at 400 quid a night. So what I was proposing that you do is that you worked out what your baseline figures were per head. And let's, just for the sake of argument, say it's £30 low season, £35 high season. You're still making money because that room would have been empty because nobody's going to buy it at 400 quid.
Right.
Yeah?
In the past, people have wanted, they prefer it when they go for a specific suite. Now, I've tried, because regards to that, I could have a hotel that sleeps 42 people with only 21 people in. That's why I've tried to safeguard myself that this suite costs this much.
No, listen, you can only have the amount of people who want to come to stay with you, right? So if 2 people want to have the ruined castle suite, right? And you're charging £90 and you're worried that you're going to get a phone call in 3 days' time for people who want to have 5 people in it. What you can always say is that I will put down your request for that room. If it is available on the day, by all means you're going to have it. This is upgrading.
But I'm still really quite concerned that I might lose the revenue for the one-night stays for celebrations if we come down.
So you're not that bloody busy. You've got loads, you've got 8 lots of rooms here that you've got, right? My understanding is that you're lucky if you're half full even on holiday.
But Sue still thinks there's a chance someone might be willing to pay that £400.
I've just got to consider how much I will lose doing it your way. And I know you're going to come back at me.
You're not going to lose anything. Why do you think you're going to lose? Look, what you're losing is having an empty hotel. That's where you lose money. It's not having occupancy. And you've got piss poor occupancy because your prices look so horrendous.
Sue is just not listening, and Ruth is starting to despair.
Sue's definitely made some progress, but for me it's not enough. Most worryingly is the thing about pricing. She doesn't seem to be able to understand that I'm not asking her to take less money. I'm asking her just to present her figures in such a way that her website tariff is not madly off-putting. Because at the moment, I wouldn't want to go and stay there whether I had small children or not. Now, is she going to do anything about it? I have to say in my heart, I suspect very little.
How will Sue react when Ruth returns in a month's time and tries shock tactics to spur her into action? It's been a month since Ruth's last visit. Sue's finally taken on board her comments about prices and has slightly reduced the room rate, but they're still far higher than the Blackpool average. So Ruth returned with a plan that should spur Sue into action.
The main thing is the prices. Have they come down too? At the moment, she charges the sun, the moon, the earth and the stars for rooms that simply don't warrant it. What she doesn't know is that I've got a little secret. There's a gang of people coming along to give her their view on what she's doing. She doesn't listen to me. Perhaps she'll listen to them. Now, I've got a slight surprise in store for you today.
Ooh!
Because one of the things that has been the thread running through this is that I haven't felt, to a large extent, that you've believed me about my take on things and the fact that children are important, but adults are just as important.
Okay, yeah.
And so what we've got is a group of people coming,
Yeah.
3 lots of 2 couples.
Good, yeah.
And they're going to have a tour round.
Lovely.
And they're going to report back to
Yeah.
you and to me
Yeah.
about their feelings about it. So
Good.
that's what's going to happen
right.
next.
Smashing, that's lovely. Look forward to welcoming them.
Ruth has called in a group of Blackpool hoteliers, all parents and grandparents themselves, to cast a professional eye over Sparkles. What will they think of what Sparkles has to offer and whether it represents value for money?
So what I'd like you to do is to come upstairs with me to look at some of the rooms we've picked out. But at the end of the day, what we're really looking for is your complete, honest, absolutely straightforward view of how you see things. I don't want you to listen really to what I'm saying. I want you to have your own thoughts about it, okay? Yeah?
Armed with a list of prices, the group sets off to investigate.
It is a lovely little girl's room, yes. It's nice and clean and fresh.
Is that the ensuite in there, or is that something else? I don't know. No, it's a wardrobe.
Oh, wow.
Is it? No, it's the kid's room. Oh, it's another room.
I do like these, Sue. You know, they're nice for the kids. The kids like stuff like that, don't they? They don't smell the greatest, though. Ooh.
And the clutter is starting to creep back.
I like the teddy bears on the kids' beds, maybe 2 or 3. They've got far too many. But I certainly don't need a teddy bear on my bed.
It's meant to be ice, I think.
That's right, yeah.
But
Yeah.
you just see it as polystyrene
Yeah.
lumps.
And it's not just in the bedroom. There's also clutter accumulating on the landing.
It looks as if it could be dirty laundry. They shouldn't be on your landing and your vacuum.
But Sue's not happy with the criticism.
So I have to apologise.
All right.
I know you're coming, but I'll clear it now.
Okay.
Oh, God! Oh, don't you break it!
I'll get the place cleared up. Start again tomorrow. You see, Cheryl, what happens? I'm sorry, I get it all. I'm not at all happy.
Okay, Sue, but there have always been things on landings, you know.
And then there's the prices.
Would you pay that amount of money?
No, no way.
Now, would you pay £100 to stay here in
night?
this room? Yeah.
No.
I think it is definitely overpriced.
Ruth has listened to all the visiting hoteliers and is ready to give Sue her verdict.
The thing that came out really was the price again. The price. Now, where do we go on this? Because I understand you don't want the riffraff in and you don't want to charge £18 a night, and I don't think you should be. I mean, I really don't. But there does seem to be a really, 5 out of the 6 thought that £100 for 2 people staying in the 9-year room, even though it was a lovely bathroom, was a lot of money, and more importantly, that you wouldn't get it.
If you can go away on holiday and you can come back when you've got, say, 3 or 4 children, relaxed as if you've had a holiday, that is worth pounds. That's worth paying for. That's worth going that extra mile for. And so, therefore, I really think that just on a look-see basis, yeah, perhaps I agree with them. Maybe, they need to almost come back and experience it, and then they might change their tune.
Because if you don't mind not being very busy much of the time, and you're quite happy to run at occupancy levels that another hotelier would be kind of slitting their wrists with fear and worry about, then this is fine, because you will always find the odd person prepared to pay it. But this is going to have to be your decision, because I don't want to stop you being Mrs. Sparkles. I don't want to stop your theming. I just want more people to come in who are not frightened by the overwhelmingness of the theming, and who actually can pick their way through the theme to do the normal things that adults do, So you think we've come some way towards achieving that, do you?
Yes, I do, yeah. Yes, I do. I think we have, yeah. Sparkles the future, what does it hold? I think we're very much in a situation where we live a season at a time. So I couldn't tell you whether I'll be closed this time next year, whether I'll be in Pastures New this time next year, or whether Sparkles will be franchised around the country this time next year. We'll have to wait and see.
But Ruth is convinced the one thing holding back Sparkles is Sue herself.
I still don't think her heart is in being a full-blown hotelier. I don't think she really wants to be busy all the time. I think she likes to tickle along. This is something of a hobby for her. It's her little fantasy, and that's fine, but I think to some degree I've wasted my time.